Women epitomizes power. I've heard my grandmother sob between her snores. I've heard my mother squeal out a gentle cry in between her tosses and turns. But in the morning time, I've seen them mold life back into shape with their bare hands. They make life happen. They wash their faces with their tears. Yet, when a smile takes the form of a crescent moon on their faces, the pulse of life pounds harder.
When I pull up in the spot, they be asking what I got. Gas for an extra mile, an extra inch for the dot. When I pull up in the spot, better show me what you got. Red beam, headshots, you
Welcome to another smashing episode of Podcast with Soul. My name is Samuel Soul, and on this week's episode, we have a very special guest. I'll just let her introduce herself.
Dumelang. Please, guys, I am KelseyisArt. I am a teacher, I'm a spoken word artist, I am a designer, I'm a makeup artist, I'm a journalist.
You do a lot, You do a lot. But let's just take it from the beginning. Let's firstly talk about your poetry. When did you start? Jenny, like when did you start it?
Poetry, writing, you mean?
Yeah, writing it.
Writing, I started writing a very long time ago. I think I was 14.
14.
I was 14 years old when I started writing, and for me it was some sort of therapy. And it was also, I think I tried, when I was that young, the only friend that I felt I had around that time was like a pen and a book. Then I would pour whatever that I would be going through, and that's when I started writing.
Then you decided to actually venture into take it as a career?
No, not necessarily. It didn't happen like that. For the longest time, it just stayed that. It was just Kelsey's written little DTs hidden somewhere for a very long time. And years later, because I think my writing, I don't know if I'm putting it correctly, but it stemmed from a place of trauma. So for me, it was a way of healing myself. Yeah. So years later, I happened to move to Joburg because I was living in Northern Cape, and I'm in Joburg and I'm a part of this group of people who literally are, their initiative was about healing people, and I would be asked to speak to people. And I would find that some of the pieces that I'd written were relevant, and I would read those out to people and they'd be like, that was warm, that spoke to me. And I was like, okay, there's something here. And I think that's how because I didn't even have a name for it. I didn't think it was poetry, just rewriting my feelings. And I think that's what really made me look at it as, this is something that I could do. This is some sort of a gift. Yeah.
Continue healing people with that gift.
Yeah.
This is great. Then theater. How do you get involved with theater?
How did I? Theater just randomly happened, if I can be very honest, because the first time I made a theater appearance, I was asked. I didn't go to auditions or anything like that. And I was asked on the basis of, you're a good writer and you've got an amazing voice. And I was like, okay, I was very nervous, but I stepped into that space and I think it grew me in a way. And it also challenged me as a writer. And yeah.
But do you feel that it actually managed to help you grow as a writer also?
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. I feel that, yeah, it did, because it gave me a lot of challenges and I managed to step out of my comfort zone.
But how was it at first? Like, I mean, the first shows that you had, like, how was it?
Nerve-wracking. To be honest, it was just one of those things that you tell yourself that I'm gonna do it. But it wasn't easy. Yeah.
But with the journey so far, how is it like now?
At this particular moment, I think I'm finding my footing. I think that's a good way to put it. I have a very teachable spirit, so I think I'll always be that person. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where I'm going to feel I'm dope. I could say it,
but
maybe
you
I
are
whisper.
dope. But you are dope. But you are.
Thank you. Yeah, but I don't want it to inhibit me from wanting
Yeah,
to
just,
reach
yeah.
further. Yeah.
But like with theater, I hear a lot of people saying that it's more difficult than TV and other ventures. You feel the
Yeah.
same?
I feel the same. I feel the same. No, theater is more. It is more. I don't know anything about TV, but theater it's a lot of work. Bringing the show to life,
Something else.
it's something else. It's a
But how
lot.
many shows have you written so far? Or directed?
I've directed 2, but one hasn't shown anywhere yet. It's in Setswana, which is my home language, and yeah, I'm hoping to take it to Mabang. Yeah, and with regards to me
Performing, yeah.
I've been a part of 5
Five
shows.
so far.
Yeah, 5 so far.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's
is.
huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Then you're also a teacher on top of that.
Yeah, I'm a qualified.
So you teach kids,
Yeah, I
2000,
No, not 2000, Joe. My teachers are not
Yeah,
yeah.
because those ones are.
So when I got into teaching, because like I think it's been a decade actually.
Jesus.
Yeah, it has been. So I started with.
I'm not even gonna ask how old are you.
No,
I'm
let's
not,
not go
I'm not
there.
even gonna ask that.
Let's not go there. So I started with ECD, early childhood development, and then now I've stepped into foundation phase.
But how's the experience?
I think I genuinely love kids, and for me, it's something that I've always looked at as some sort of a calling. It's amazing. It's amazing. It centers me. I could be having a terrible time in my headspace and just seeing
Those kids are just there,
yeah.
cheering you
They are
up.
the other one says it, and you're just like,
And you know what? One thing about kids, they give like compliments, and they're so genuine.
Yeah,
they
they're
wouldn't
really
lie.
genuine.
They wouldn't
They
lie. They'd be
wouldn't
like, "Oh, safe, you know," but they'll tell you, like, they'll
yeah,
lift up the spirit.
yeah, they do.
But you sometimes perform poetry for them, like,
Yeah, but I mean, with ECD, it was easy because we get that. We get like little poems, we get songs. So now with having to like follow the correct syllabus, we don't necessarily do that. But should there be like a period of arts and culture, I don't mind. I don't mind entertaining my kids.
yeah, which is like, I feel like in poetry, it's one of the things that they should actually
Yeah,
add on the syllabus now.
I think so.
Because back then, yes, during our time, we knew LO period, you know, the arts and culture, there's time for that.
It was exciting.
Yeah, but now it's
Now people are just focused on other things.
all about studying.
Yeah.
So what else do you design?
I design earrings. I do tapetes. I do knitwear, ponchos. I do a lot of other things. And like now I've started this range of skirts.
Sketch also.
Yeah, skirts. And I collect vintage as well.
So the earrings that you're wearing on,
Yeah, these are mine.
these are your design.
These are the kgosigadi earrings, yeah.
Just show them so that they know.
Yeah, I wish I could have came with a lot of other earrings.
And also tell them where they can find you if they wanna order.
So on Facebook, I do have a page that is called kgosigadi handcrafts, and I usually just give out my numbers. Hey,
Yeah, you can just show them.
yeah, 083 741 3447. Yeah, that's where you can literally just order. And I post my things on Facebook. My Facebook name is also Sonobu.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But I think they would actually follow the page and support the business.
The business.
Because it's a pretty good page. Like you're basically doing everything.
Thank
Like
you.
you're in the art space, you're just in that creative space.
Yeah,
where you-
I'm always like, when a person asks me, I'm always like, I'm an artist in every sense of the word.
And soon you're gonna start manufacturing shoes. Eh?
I'll try. Yeah, I mean, I could say I am already because I decorate sandals.
Sandals.
Yeah, I bead them.
But who taught you how to like do the painting?
With the beading, I actually learned here in Gibson.
Really? I thought maybe you were gonna tell me story.
No, not
Taught me,
even.
my grandma and all that.
I wish. I don't have. I'm not that child who's got like a story to tell about their grandmothers. Yeah,
Oh, grew up in the bars.
Not even.
I see.
Not even.
So you learned them around.
I was in Dipsu, so the year was 2008, I think. Yeah, and we had just gotten, okay, I'm gonna get a little deep into like my personal life. So my mom, my sister and I had just literally gotten in deep sleep. We were running away from my father. My father was extremely abusive. And we get to this place, we don't know anyone here, and poverty is not playing games with us. And my mom was not working at the time. And I also had to be in school. And that was around the time when I matriculated. I was working in a restaurant. It used to be, what do they call this mall? Opposite Four Ways, this side. Yeah, the Crossing. I was working in a restaurant there at the Crossing. And this other time, we are told that if you are a needy person, there are food parcels at Akani. No, not Akani actually. This other one. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, people must go to African Tikkun to get food parcels. When I get there, I meet this other woman. Her name is Glennis. I'll never forget Glennis. And she just liked me, and she told me that she's teaching people how to make jewelry. Am I interested? But I think she could see it in my sense of dressing because I've always just really liked very odd things. And she asked me, "Are you an artist?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I joined her class. And I went to her class for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then within the 2 weeks, she made me a teacher because she felt like I was ahead. I was very creative. It's like, you are so creative. I think you are able to teach these people. And that's how I got into it. Because around that time, I used to make, teach, and sell at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Then that's how you continue making.
That's how I continued making. That's how I decided to like have my own line. Because before I did kgosigadi, I used to go to markets, but I was under like a friend of mine. Yeah, and I would sell with her there. But I ventured out and I would go to markets alone. And
so which markets mostly do you go to?
so I go to Brown Sands. I go to the one in Riversand. I go to the one in Mpumalanga, I go to Prison Break, I go to... Let me just say, whichever market that I see online that I can afford a stall, I am there.
Wow, well.
Yeah, I can buy.
Which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
You know, having a line that you own, like having your own brand. It's actually, you know, when I see black people, young black people owning brands, it excites me. Like, it just excites me. Like, whenever I see another brother or sister winning, it's something that it excites me. You know. Doing good, bro. Doing good. So, okay, you're a designer, teaching and all that. How do you balance, like everything, how do you balance everything?
I think I'm not a trusted person. I'm very centered in my things. I don't as much as it may appear as it's a lot, but I hardly ever overwhelm myself. If I know that I have a certain appearance somewhere in terms of going to a site of home there, I like during the course of preparing for that, I make sure that I don't overwhelm myself with a lot of markets because I know that I only have this body. I don't think I'll function like that. So I think it helps that I'm a very centered person, and I'm also very much in touch with quietude. As much as Kelsey is loud, but I find my balance there. I just like, okay, do this, do that. So I'm very orderly. So I think being very orderly is helpful.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Even the pressure won't be too much.
No.
Because we know Monday to Friday, it's going on, but weekends you have to do. Either have to decide.
Yeah.
But do you also like events? You go to events and perform?
Yeah, I do get it.
Manyalo?
Yeah, I've done a wedding. Yeah, I've done a wedding.
How was it?
It was amazing. And when I got, because it was a request, like, we've heard you do a poem, at this and this place. Could you come and render something at our wedding? It was at a church actually, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't know anything about the couple, so I was like, I'm gonna have to sort of befriend you guys a little.
Yeah, sit down and try to understand.
Hey, just to understand you guys, but it came out quite nicely. The couple were very happy, and yeah, it was a good one.
But how was the experience for you?
The experience for me, I remember just breaking that kgosigadi seed. That's how it felt like.
Yeah, but it is. But that's what you did.
Yeah, that's how it felt like. I was just like, yeah, it was a very beautiful opportunity for me, and I enjoyed it.
So you saying also going back, you saying that what inspires you, it's your life, it's everything that is happening around that you're writing.
Yeah.
You don't just randomly write about things
No,
that are.
actually, like I write about everything. I'm at a point where I'm always writing, because I remember this other time. A friend of mine said something that sounded like a line afterwards. It's like, you write more than you live. I'm like, what? What are you on about? Because I feel that there's so many stories that I could look at anything and find a story there. So yeah, because I don't know if I'm bragging when I say I hardly ever struggle with like a writer's block.
I bet now you want to write about me. I want to write
I
about
could.
the setup now.
I mean, I could, and I would forward to you later. Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the reasons why I hardly ever suffer a writer's block. But I also think it's because I take a lot of prompts. I mean, like a number of poetry communities.
Yeah.
So,
But how big is the community? Because in South Africa at this point, it seems like
it's
still
not that
small.
broad. It's very small. It's very small unless you take the initiative to create platforms for yourself. But in terms of writing, there's quite a few, to be honest. In terms of reciting, it's just a matter of, are you liked enough to be booked? Are you known enough to be booked? That type of thing. But with regards to writing, there's so many platforms that you can be a part of, and just keep on joining their writing exercises. Just be active.
Because I've noticed that a lot of poets that I know, most of them, they venture into music.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard somebody saying that I'm just sticking to this, something like this.
Yeah.
Most of them, they're like, let me just start rapping or start singing, doing what's or not. And which has got me questioning a lot of things that we do have a lot of, like poetry. It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful, and I don't know what is inhibiting it from just making it big, because usually in like poetry spaces you get to find that people that are in poetry spaces are poets
in most cases. Yeah, I've noticed that.
So it's like it's our little corner,
club,
a little club, a little world you get.
But okay, this is my opinion, right? This is what I think. I think that's because a lot of people, they don't, especially people our age group, let me just put it that way, they don't really sit down and read and what's or not. They find poets boring. They just wanna, they just want piano and just wanna
that
dance.
Is true. That is true.
So I think it's one of the things that actually make it or a to that extent.
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
Because if we check, we only have like few famous poets. Like I don't know if he's a poet, right? Oh yeah. And your Tiki Mazwai, we just have those, and I feel like the quality is just, it's just.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's that quality.
I get you.
But I feel like.
Yeah, that is true.
But do you think that in the coming years, you see the market expanding?
Yeah, because now a lot of poets have stepped into theatre, and theatre is such a beautiful space for storytelling. So I definitely see, better days are coming.
Better days are coming. That's why we're going to see a lot of people. We're going to see the new, Spanbani. Because we see the same faces.
That is true.
We see Mama. They're the same old man doing the same thing,
Yeah.
But also in the industry, I feel like it's not opening up.
Fast.
Yeah, it's not. So with creating your earrings and all that, how's the process? Like, how long does it take to actually be like, yeah?
Like
I've
with
done this piece.
sketching or with like literally creating?
Everything from sketching. Take us through that.
The process is beautiful because I'm able, for each and every market, I'm able to always come up with something unique, something new. And I think I can have literally like 1,000 ideas a second running in my head. I think I'm blessed with creativity, to be honest. So in terms of creating, I've gotten to a point where I'm very fast, right?
So you just say,
like
I want to do a sketch, like.
I can make so many earrings in a day, especially because I hope it.
So in a day, you can actually like do how many?
In a day, I can, to this length, I can make 30.
30. I was bad. I was bad. Like,
Pala John, oh, theater. I can make 3 pairs.
A day. Jeez, man, like you put in the work.
I'm putting in the work.
But so far, you're alone or
So now, should I get like a big order? There are people
that's when you outsource.
Yeah, that's when I outsource. But if it's just like me preparing, or if I'm going to like a big market,
that's when you say,
yeah, okay, help me with waist beads, help me with, I give you the design. That's how I do it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you also a makeup artist? Then?
Yes, I am.
Why can you wait?
I can say it.
So makeup, it's for you only do but by the eventing, or it's just.
Yeah, wherever I'm booked, manyalo, graduations.
That's why I'm dating.
That's why I'm dating. But
yeah,
yeah, I do it like that. Whenever I'm booked.
Jeez, man, like you do literally almost everything in a creative space, like
yeah.
Like
I'm just like.
Soon you're gonna start singing. Oh, you also can sing.
No, I don't sing. I sing to some of my poems a little bit because my singing voice is not the one.
No, but it will get there eventually. Like it will get there.
Singing voice.
Yeah, it will get there. Like it will definitely get there.
Tell that to my sister and we can laugh. Give her off truly, Joe.
Are you one of those people who are talking about,
yeah, very.
Because it does get to that point.
Yeah.
In life, like it just gets to that point. But do you also offer classes where you teach kids how to write?
Yeah. No, actually, it's not even like classes, but when I started like publishing my pieces on Facebook, I'd always get like requests from my 2000. Does Kelsey teach us the art of writing? Like this is quite a thing, because the first time I got like 3 girls, and I was like, no guys, I don't do that. Hey, I just write. And then it went on. I looked at it like, okay, these people feel like I've got something to offer. I might as well take them in and charge them a certain fee and see how we can work around writing workshops. And it started with 4 girls, and then later 3 guys joined, all South African, 7 of them. And then after a few months, one Nigerian girl joined, and I was like, Nigerians are like gods of literature. Do I want to take this person in? And I did. And after a few months, she was like, she's so confident with her writings, and she came with 2 people, and I had 10. And I kept it at 10, and then later it got to 14, so I've had like 14 people in my class.
Jeez, that's a lot.
And you do it online.
Online. Yeah. So you actually offer them online?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So if somebody, let's just say now, I'm like, I want to join the class, how do I join the process?
The process
of pay first and get classes later, but we'll send you a link. Just pay. We'll send you a link later.
Yeah, definitely. The invoice is there. The invoice.
I joined the class. In the middle of the class, I have to pay.
No, not really. I finished with the ones that I'm working with first. Yeah, and then when that is done, I can now move to other.
So the period. How long do you take them for? Like how long do you teach them? Is it a 6 months thing?
I've gone for 6 months. Yeah, it's a 6 months thing. It's a 6 months thing, and then I can move to the other ones. unless if someone really enjoyed it that much and want to come back.
So you do take them back?
Yeah, I've taken one back actually.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Chorro so because it was slow so keep on
But
coming
well,
back.
yeah,
It's abangwaha. Then we come back even the other year.
Oh my way. Yeah.
Because I mean poetry is beautiful.
It is. Yeah.
Are you planning on writing a book, like a poetry book?
I feel like I've got so many books inside of me, and this question, so many people have been pushing me to say write a book, so many. But my thing is, I feel like it hasn't been communicated to me yet that I should have it out. But
So you're waiting for the universe to be like, hey, what about a book? That's when you're gonna decide, be like, yeah, let me just write the book.
I think I will know when it's the right time.
The right time. But in the near future, we can actually expect that.
Definitely.
But like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I mean, in the creative space, personally, just you as a creative.
Me as a creative in the next 5 years. I think my wildest dream will have to be having a walk-in store. I was working on that, but I had like a little bit of hurdles. But I definitely see myself having a
So what's gonna be in the walk-in store? What are you gonna be selling?
It's gonna be my jewellery line, and it's gonna be my vintage range.
Okay.
And then it's gonna be like I see it having a little corner for, because I also cook for my books.
Right?
Yeah. And
I mean
then
the cooking books, or just your poetry book?
poetry, cooking, it can be all that. And yeah, there could also even be like a beauty. That's how I see it. Maybe a beauty corner where the makeup can take place, but everything just really in the same space.
The same space. Obviously, it's just gonna be a creative space.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. And it's going to create employment also.
It definitely
Because
is.
that's what we need now. We need people who are going to create employment, especially black people who just need to create employment. Because we can't wait for the government or whoever or Jesus. We can just create ourselves. I feel like we can do a lot.
Yeah.
We can do a lot as black people. It's just that sometimes we intend to do other things.
Deviate.
Yeah, I'm not. You'll be complaining. Why mama ngasai on those type of things,
So we have to take initiative.
So in that store, right? How many people do you see with the Gaba Hira?
Let me see. I think 12.
12 people. It's actually a lot. 12 families.
12 families will be sorted.
And in each family defined for another to a 10 and all that.
Yeah.
Which is, it's pretty.
Yeah.
But with the state of the country at the moment, what's your take on the gender-based violence in South Africa at this point?
I mean, a lot of my writings actually addresses that. I speak against gender-based violence in a number of my poems. I think it's that dreadful that it's something that needs to be challenged with hopes that eventually.
Because it seems like it's not safe actually to be a woman in South Africa at this point, and it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. Like actually, in general, it's just hard being in South Africa at this point.
It's very hard.
Because the crime is just high, and it's just everything is just
everything. This country is warm.
But like, okay, in most of your poetry, that's what you address most of the time.
I also talk about GBV. I talk about rape. I think to date I've written 51 poems about rape. Yeah, I've compiled like 51 poems about rape.
Because I feel like that it's for some people it's a very sensitive issues, but I feel the more we actually talk about them.
Because I don't think I'm a very. Someone said their poetry doesn't have table manners, and I related so much to that person because I think I'm for very uncomfortable conversations. I'm not like your safe.
Yeah, because they also just want to always be on the safe side.
Yeah.
They want to talk about, address certain issues, which is sometimes I feel like, you know what,
that's okay, but what else are you doing with the space to like address social ills and stuff? So
Because there's a lot of people, you might not know, there's a lot of people who look up to you.
really,
Your kids, they do look up to you.
Yeah,
Your,
they do.
your students also, they're like, yeah.
they love me too. Yeah.
They check what you say, and you know how it is. That's how
that is
it
true.
goes. Yeah. Even your friends online, they check.
They
Okay.
do check. Yeah.
Do you address these issues, or are you one of those people who just keep quiet? As long as it has nothing to do with people that you know, it's cool.
Or you.
Yeah, you, it's
personally.
cool. But if
Yeah.
it's people that are close, then that's when you're gonna start
Yeah.
talking about it. Which is it's because I feel like as long as you got the numbers, use that voice to actually address
That
issues.
is true. Yeah, that is true. Because I did like an initiative called hashtag It Wasn't Your Fault, and it was a movement dedicated to rape survivors. So what I did is I got other poets involved in terms of write a poem entitled It Wasn't Your Fault, and I would go online and read them out to like whoever was like a rape survivor. And that actually made a lot of people come to me and say this happened to me. So it was like a very intense movement of healing, because I'd get people who are married and say, I've never told anyone this, not even my husband, but this happened. So I think it's very important to understand the gift, and yeah, like it's cool to be praised for the gift, but what else is it doing? Are you aligned with its purpose, or is it just for the hype?
So the movement now, it's still there, still pushing it.
Yeah. It's still one of my initiatives. I used to do like talks, little seminars, and yeah, still doing it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't
how can people join? How can they support the movement? Or is it just a quiet club type of vibe? Or,
not necessarily, because
they can just be put up there and be part of it.
yeah, it's very important for. No, actually, the last one that we did, it was just put online. Come to hashtag It Wasn't Your Fault, and people came, and there was an entrance fee, and it was just like broken into like segments where there was a psychologist talking to people, and you don't necessarily have to say I'm a survivor, but the healing took place on that day. Poems were shared, and other people even managed to stand up and speak up in front of the crowd and say, this is how I've been trying to deal with it, but now that I feel that I'm no longer, I don't feel alone anymore. I feel empowered by seeing other people saying it happened to them. And because for me to say hashtag It Wasn't Your Fault, I felt that somehow people would, let's say you're like a rape survivor, there's a certain degree of shame that you carry, and this is a crime that was done to you, but there's that shame, there's that little dirt that you feel that. And then for me to say it wasn't your fault, it was a way of telling someone you can release it. You can release it. It's painful, it's terrible. The memories will always visit you, triggers will always be lurking, but here's how you can go about it. And we know that healing is not a linear path, but there's actually healing that you can approach.
Because I feel like a lot of people, they're struggling to find a safe space where they can actually talk about it, what happened to them.
Yeah.
Because you never know, people could judge.
People could ask questions that are very triggering. People could turn it into a joke. Because I remember when I first told my rape story, I was with people from Berkopen, and someone was actually just, the uncomfortable conversation where other people are talking about who broke their GBT and whatnot. And I said, I can't relate, because the first time it happened, it was this and that. And it got so intense in the room that I felt that it was too much of a heavy story, and I didn't read the room to see if it was a safe space. And from that day I felt that I could be a safe space for someone,
other people.
for other people. Yeah.
Which is no, it's something good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women, they need safe space. Even
They
men,
do.
they need safe space, which is
Yeah.
they hard to find.
They had it.
Because you can't, especially in the black community, it's hard. You can't
It's
just
very
go
hard.
and let me go tell my Rafadi or Professor. They wouldn't
It's
believe.
hard
Like
to
they would
vent.
just, it's just too much.
It's hard to vent, and also like with what the poems did, because I think it was a collection of 30 poems. Everyone was addressing it from like different angles, and it was so soothing and so healing to understand that you can be believed even if you say it happened in your home.
Yeah.
But home is not always how
So,
we glorify it. Yeah.
Because we like glorifying that home is a safe space. Sometimes
That's how we
home
do
is
it, and
not.
home, like to a lot of people actually home is not a safe space. Yeah.
Even married people.
Yeah.
Because I think the more we address such issues, the lesser we're going to have issues like this. Actually, we're not going to have this kind of issues.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to have that.
Yeah. So I really, I'm proud of what hashtag it wasn't your fault did, because it also like challenged even pastors to say this is also happening in the church.
In the church.
Yeah.
Hey, churches is the worst.
I promise you.
Hey, churches is the
Yeah,
worst.
it's worse.
It's another pandemic that I feel like
Yo.
we need to address. Be like, hey, no, enough is enough.
Enough is enough. So it did that. The movement really is something. It's a healing movement, because I used to call it a wave of healing, and it's really that.
Which is it's actually helping a lot of people.
Yeah.
So do you guys have like weekly meetings, or how do you guys do it?
So it's not weekly. It's not weekly. It's just once in 2 months.
Once in 2 months. Okay.
Yeah, it's just once in 2 months, because what I'm also trying to do is to get professionals,
Like your
psychologists,
psychologist.
yeah, people who are experienced to be a part of it. Yeah.
But where do you host it? It's different locations.
It's different locations. Yeah.
Depending on the month of the year.
Yeah, it depends on the month, but it's only been in Joburg. I haven't been to other provinces. Yeah.
But I feel like if other provinces get involved, it's gonna be big.
I think it-
Because a lot of people need safe space.
Yeah, definitely. Literally just go into other provinces.
Then you grow the whole hashtag.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. It's gonna help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we're gonna stop experiencing such problems. We don't need such
We
problems.
don't at all. We don't need such problems.
But you also do modeling.
Yeah, I
Jeez,
do.
man.
I'm a plus size model.
But like what kind of? So you model for your own brand, in a way.
No, other brands actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah,
maybe you're
I've
like.
worked with a few brands. I model for. I've done for Avada Creations.
Okay.
I've done for Raw Apparel. I've done for South GNT. And yeah.
You should mention those are black-owned brands.
All of
Yeah,
them.
don't forget
All
that.
of
Just,
them.
just mention that it's black-owned brand.
Black owned. All of them. Yeah. Yeah.
So those are the brands that you actually so far.
Have modeled for.
But if you ever thought about going into modeling like as a career, or as part of you everything that you're doing, because you do a lot of things.
I do a lot of things. Yeah, I do a lot of things. Well, for now I think these brands, because I mean, like with Raw Apparel, I'm fighting to be the face of Raw Apparel with someone. So, but because they call me quite frequently, I think for now it's still okay to just be with these brands. And yeah, we'll see what time goes on.
That's when you can decide if you wanna.
If I want to audition for other brands or get into that. Yeah.
Okay. In closing, mate, what can you tell the 17-year-old you?
My 17-year-old self. Yeah. What can I say to her?
Okay, life is calm.
I was like,
Siyakhala.
girl, I'm so proud of you. You didn't let yourself go. I am proud of you that you didn't give up. I'm proud that you stayed alive. Yeah.
And for those kids out there, like let's just say there's a young woman out there who, at this point, that's what I read, like,
Yeah.
needs the hope. What can you say to that person?
A person who has lost hope.
A woman.
A woman. Oh,
Young woman.
a young woman who has lost hope. I would tell her to extend grace to herself. Given that it's very hard to be a black woman in South Africa, I would tell her to extend a lot of kindness to herself. I would tell her to keep breathing. Yeah, that's what I would tell people. Yeah,
That's good. It was nice having you on the show.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Guys, please continue subscribing to the channel, liking the page, and let's grow the channel.
So this piece is titled Home. At home, when my mother talks about her first love, we put babies to sleep. Mother's hand trembles when she tries to make tea. She then sits on her rocking chair, her eyes oogling out, trying to chase her breath. Her body shuts. We all know that her home is where she first collected her blues. At home, when mother talks about her first love, we all fold our arms and stand in position of prayer. She kneels and cries with her left eye. We all know that father's fist stole sight and life from her right eye. At home, when my mother speaks of her first love, we hush our voices and make remarks in echoes. We all know that we can call Father's name with the same mouth we use to worship God. At home, when Mother talks about her first love, we are left with no choice but to turn our faces back away from love.
When I pull up in the spot, they be asking what I got. Gas for an extra mile, an extra inch for the dot. When I pull up in the spot, better